Back in 2008, Warner Bros. Animation surprised us all with a direct-to-television Christmas special, stop motion in the same vein as the original Rankin-Bass specials. And some brilliant soul decided that it should star the Miser Brothers. Yeah, the minor antagonists from Year Without a Santa Claus thrust into the position of main characters. After a rather disastrous family reunion between the Miser Brothers, Mother Nature, and their other siblings, including the vain North Wind, Santa ends up crash landing and injuring himself during a test flight of his new super sleigh, right in the middle of a fight between the Miser Brothers. Well, it was actually the machinations of the North Wind looking to take over for Santa because he's vain enough to believe that he should be in charge. The Miser Brothers are blamed, since it was assumed that it was their fight that caused the crash. And with Santa down and out, they're put in charge of making sure Christmas goes forward this year, all while North Wind tries to keep their relationship fractured so he can convince Mother Nature to give the position to him. Shenanigans ensue. I love this special. It is wonderful through and through. It does quite a good job with updating the storytelling in the 20-odd years between this special and the last stop-motion special that Rankin-Bass did. It's a simple story, something that anyone could watch, understand, and enjoy, but it goes a lot further to really give every character more of a personality. There's a lot more inter-character dialogue as well. Characters talk with each other about things beyond the immediate plot, which gives us a much better idea of how these characters relate to one another, what they think of each other, which makes the personal moments and the more warm and fuzzy moments as the Miser Brothers actually start to work together and put their differences aside. It just makes it feel much better. All of the minor and secondary characters also have personalities strong enough that help keep them from fading into the background whenever they show up, even though some of them don't really show up that often. Aside from the Miser Brothers, who are played beautifully in this special by Juan Corrin, and I apologize if I'm saying that name wrong, as Snow Miser, and George Irving reprising his role as Heat Miser, our villain the North Wind is so deliciously evil and over the top and completely in love with himself that every scene he's in is just so damn amazing. Also, Mickey Rooney as Santa Claus once again. As if you needed more of a reason to watch this special. The look of the special is of course a lot cleaner and neater than the Rankin-Bass stop-motion specials, and while it's impressive how it looks for being a made-for-TV production in the late aughts, I honestly feel like I prefer the look of the sets from the old specials a bit. The ones in this special look okay, don't get me wrong, but they're so clean and neat, they feel very unnatural. And the lack of interesting backgrounds, especially during outdoor scenes where the sky looks unnaturally blue and clear, for example, it looks just a bit too clean for me. Well, yeah, it definitely looks a little bit aesthetically nicer than the older specials. The sets and props in Year Without a Santa Claus did manage to look more like actual buildings, actual roads and signs and such. Here, it has more of a toy aesthetic, which does work, but if we're comparing it to its original source material, I don't think it's quite as nice to look at least for me personally. But my critique really only extends to the sets and backgrounds. When you look at the characters, it's an entirely different story. While they can look a touch too clean and smooth at times, there is no denying that the puppets move way more fluidly and naturally than they ever have before. While there are times when they can move a bit more jittery, the puppets are so very well articulated that they practically look like they're dancing. Every movement is wide and sweeping, making it feel like a stage play, where the more exaggerated and dramatic movements are expected. And the expression work, my goodness, they look fantastic. The faces these characters make, it is instantly recognizable what they are feeling, and it changes just as easily as their posing does. Musically, it's fairly good. We of course get a rendition of the Miser Brothers song, the two of them combined into a single song, and it's brought back several times throughout the special, which I think is fine considering how good of a song it is. The villain song from North Wind is, much like everything else he does, over the top and ridiculous, which fits his character very well, but most of the other songs are just okay and don't leave a huge impression. They do their job well enough, don't overstay their welcome, and help move the story forward. But they aren't going to stay with you the way that the Miser Brothers song does. If you can track this special down, I'd heartily recommend it. While it definitely separates itself from the original stop-motion specials that it's spun from, I think it does a good job of keeping that same spirit alive while being a good update to the storytelling that we would expect from a more modern family Christmas special. This one gets a thumbs up from me. Definitely did the Miser Brothers good on this one, and I'm certainly going to remember this special a lot more clearly than the one they originally came from.